Cleveland Cavaliers dominate the Brooklyn Nets yesterday in their first game back from the All-Star break. That's their sixth win in a row, sixth straight win over Brooklyn, dating back to November of 2024. Mike, I'll start with you. You was in the building. A couple things. How was the atmosphere, and what were some of the takeaways from this team despite the opponent we was playing?
The atmosphere was good. The game was never close. Like, the Cavs were up 20 points essentially 5 minutes into the game. Head coach for Brooklyn, Jordi Fernandez, called a timeout 41 seconds in. Gee, that's the rage timeout.
Yeah.
Jarrett Allen blocked the shot. They came down. They hit a bucket. He said, nope, timeout. And you knew immediately from that point that was going to end very poorly for Brooklyn. The Cavs dominated in all facets. It was the turn of Evan Mobley and Dean Wade to the lineup. Dean Wade, by the way, 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. We're going to talk a little bit about what he and James Harden said in regards to playing with each other in just a few minutes. But overall, there wasn't a ton to take away from this game in particular because of how lopsided it was, because of how dominant the Cavaliers were. But my big takeaway from being there is an aura this team is starting to play with, guys. It is a level of confidence that did not exist prior to the James Harden trade, and it's tangible. You know, sometimes we talk about the X factor, the it factor. You can't actually feel it. You just kind of know when you see it. Well, I know what I'm seeing with the Cavs and how they're playing right now. I understand the opponents in the 4 James Harden games have not been great. They're playing 3 teams that qualify as tanking teams. So I understand the competition has not been up to the level you'd want to see them beat when they're making a championship push, but they sound more confident. They're playing more confident. They're playing more concise and predetermined instead of thinking. I just feel like they're playing basketball now, G, in a way that they hadn't been before. And when you look at the totality of the situation, Cavs are playing as good at basketball as any team in the NBA right now, which is a terrific sign as we get ready for the final 26 games of the season.
Man. Listen, I'm going to tell you what. Cavs can be dangerous. Cavs can be dangerous. I know it's 4 games, but what McNugget's saying, I can't deny. You feel it. It's palpable. You understand it. When you watch the games, you take a look at what they were doing before when they had the core 4. It is a night and day game out here because Donovan Mitchell is playing with, I think, the most freedom and confidence that I've seen him play in a long time. And it's not just the numbers, it's the way that he has the confidence that if anything bogs down or if anything happens, I know I got somebody that can pass, shoot, score, make plays for other people, and I don't have to have all of that. And I think he understands now, hey, I can fall back into the rotation and fall back in and make sure that other people's getting involved. And I think he's having probably some of the best having some fun and the most fun he's had in a very long time. And I got to actually say this too, because I didn't want to be this to be missed. Hey, Jarrett Allen, man, let me just tell you something. I appreciate you, bro. Jarrett Allen. You out here, I don't understand what's happening. Kenny Atkinson has said that he's playing some of his best basketball that he's had. I'm saying you get technical fouls. I'm saying you be angry. I'm saying you try to dunk on everybody moving. When you get the ball in the post, you are looking to score. You're not being passive. Everything about this, the thuggish, ruggish bone, Jarrett Allen, I'm all for it. I'm cornrow, Jarrett Allen is different. Evan Mobley even came back today, and he's like, no. I know Evan is supposed to be a focal part of what we're doing, but no, I'm Jarrett Allen, and I'm nice too. If he's playing like that, and if he can continue to keep that energy up, the Cavs play like a different team, Jason. They just do with this. And I just think that right now, there's a lot of people in Cleveland that are standing up, taking the notice and being like, this team is scared if they continue to keep moving and molding and working and getting better.
Yeah, obviously I agree with what you said. There's an injection of life in this team since the trade deadline. There was a while where it looks thin and slim that they had a finals run in them, and now I think anything's possible with this team. I'm curious, what you think of the starting lineup last night?
I loved it, and I think I've said, and I understand. The level of if I'm about to say is the size of the Pacific Ocean. That's how big of an if it is because Dean Wade has not showed the propensity to hit a shot in the playoffs since we've been doing UCSS. So I understand the if is longer than my wingspan. It is longer than the screen. Whatever. The if is gigantic. If Dean Wade can make open shots, he is the perfect fifth starter for this, whatever you want to call iteration of the core 4. There's so much creation in the hands of James Harden. There's so much creation in the hands of Donovan Mitchell. They're going to play a ton of pick and roll, which means you have that fifth starter essentially stuck in the corner, standing there waiting to catch and shoot. We asked Dean Wade after the game last night. And by the way, Dean Wade went 3 for 3 last night from beyond the arc. He was 4 for 4 from the game, 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. We asked him, like, hey, when you know you're a recipient from a James Harden, like, what's the mindset? Because you know you're not going to get many touches in the flow of the offense. And Dean said, I love it. Guys, because I just can focus on defense. The only thought on offense I have is, if I catch it, shoot it. Because they're not passing to me unless it's the end of a shot clock and or I'm wide open. And when you can simplify that for a player like Dean Wade, who has – people feel very different ways about Dean Wade. Some people love Dean Wade to a level I think is probably too high, and some people think he stinks, and that's not incorrect. That's not correct either. It's somewhere in the middle. If you can simplify things for Dean Wade, and he could simply be a stand-in-the-corner shooter, and then focus all his attention on defense and rebounding, which the trio of Allen, Mobley, and Wade defensively over the last 4 seasons ranks at worst in the 92nd percentile and as high as the 100th percentile in trio defensive ratings across the NBA. That's an incredible front line to have behind Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, and you're supersized. Your smallest guy is Donovan Mitchell, who, by the way, is 6'8" arms and is no small dude. You have 6'5" James Harden, 6'9" Dean Wade, 6'11" Evan Mobley, listed at 7 foot, but really 6'8" Jarrett Allen at center. So, like, that's a supersized front line. To me, that's their best starting lineup if Dean Wade can hit shots in the playoffs. And I fully understand that is a gigantic, massive, humongous if.
I'm wondering, what is the trade-off? I think when you look at it, what's the trade-off between him and Jalen Tyson? Obviously, Jalen Tyson's played very well. He's shooting well.
Tyson's better, but in that fifth starting role alongside those other 4, you're just a standstill corner shooter.
Yeah.
Tyson's too good to just be a standstill corner shooter. I like him with the second units more, where you can actually utilize his on-ball creation skills.
But even then, he's always going to have somebody in front of him, because Donovan or Harden one is going to be on the floor. I would say pretty much, unless there's
Kenny
injury
said
or foul
unless
trouble.
it's foul trouble, they're playing the whole game.
Yeah, so he's going to have somebody in front of him, but he can be that second creator at times that they've always loved to run with. I totally agree with what you're saying. I think Jalen's too good to be a stand corner shooter, but Dean's got to make shots.
He has to.
And he has to. It doesn't matter if you make him against Brooklyn in February.
You got to make him in the playoffs.
You got to make him in May against Detroit. And if I'm a team opposing the Cavs, I'm leaving Dean open until he proves to me he can make shots.
Right.
And then if you make shots, then you make that adjustment. But, I mean, we advocated Dean being the starter
Forever.
2 years ago. Yeah, that we liked how this lineup looked, even before the Hunter trade. But then he couldn't stay. He got hurt at the wrong time, and he just was ineffective in the playoffs to the point where you just can't count on him. So he's got another shot. We'll see.
Yeah. Oh, you got a question?
Yeah, G, back to Jarrett Allen. You know, you talked about just Jarrett, how he's played lately. Yesterday before the game, Kenny Atkinson said that essentially Jarrett Allen has made him pay attention to him. And we seen Jarrett start to take off a couple games before James Harden arrived. In your opinion, what you think clicked? What you think changed that all of a sudden we seeing Jarrett Allen 2.0?
I think the reality of people getting moved on from is sometimes people can go one or two ways. You can either take it and look at it and sulk around and kind of pout about it and say woe is me and what's going on. We was the core 4. We were supposed to have a nucleus. But when DeAndre Hunter and Darius Garland got traded, the reality of the situation was they told you that the team was not good enough. They let you know that they needed to make moves and to do certain things to be a contender. And it signaled, hey, bro, nobody is safe. Everybody is expendable. And I also think some of what happened was that Jarrett Allen, to be honest with you, was not, when the Cavs were beginning the season, he was not getting minutes in crunch time. He wasn't part of the ending rotations. And I think he got to a point and realized, I might want to do something here. I might want to figure this thing out. Because it's a good opportunity here. I got a good opportunity to be a part of what we got going here. It's a good opportunity because Kenny Atkinson knows me. It's a situation where I might go to another team and they might not even utilize me in the same way. So he was like, yo, James Harden came in here. I'm going to need to be finishing and doing everything I need to do. I just like the fact that he's more aggressive, and it seems as if he is now not deferring and understanding that he actually needs to do something for the Cavs to get to the next level.
There's another part of this that I don't think we fully understood how good James Harden was when they acquired him. We know every rim running big that he's played with has had like career highs, right? Well, part of the reason is he makes it an emphasis to feed you when you roll. But another thing he did, and last night it was on full display, and I'll put this in football terms for everyone because I know more people understand football than basketball. It's one thing to make a catch in football and then just fall down, right? But it's the yak. That's how you pick up big chunk plays. How do you get yak? You lead the receiver to the open area, correct? James Harden throws the ball to where the big should be. And there were 2 or 3 occasions yesterday where Jarrett Allen was rolling. It didn't even matter which side. The one I'm thinking of, he was on the right side of the lane. Mm-hmm. James Harden saw the help defense was in the corner on the right side. The left was wide open. Harden threw the ball to the left side of the paint. Allen takes one more step than he would have traditionally, catches it, and goes right into an easy lefty layup. Harden's throwing these guys open to the point where they're catching it, you have no choice but to be decisive, right? Like in Allen's head, his plan was to roll down the right side of the lane. If he catches there, okay, now there's a guy in front of me. Now I have to make a decision. Now I have to figure out where's the help. Should I go up with the shot? Should I kick to the corner? Because Harden threw it to the left side, he catches it, looks around. There's no other option. It's just simply go up with it. Kenny said it's basically like a quarterback leading a receiver. I think it's even more than that. It's leading a receiver to a point where they have no other plan B. James is telling you, you're catching the ball here, and you're going to finish it. And Allen, more than anybody, and it's too early to make any definitive declarations on Mobley because it's been 20 minutes of blowout basketball. Allen says, you're making a decision for me? Okay. I'm the 3rd highest field goal percentage shooter in the history of the league. I ain't going to think. I'm just going to go do what I do. And it's led to some emphatic dunks.
Yeah.
It's led to some great finishes.
Yeah.
And it's allowing Allen to show us some of the footwork that made him a higher caliber offensive player than we kind of gave him credit for in the past.
He really, JC, he really, to me, he has very good footwork, excellent touch. He can finish with the left. He can finish with the right. He's also a really good passer for a big man from big to big passing. So to me, it's all coming together because I think James Harden also does a very good job of getting him involved early. You see when Mobley come, we'll get to Mobley later on, but you see Mobley come in, the first thing they do, let's get to him. I love the fact that they had a lot of different action at the top of the key. They running some different stuff. And right now with both of the bigs, the way Harden is looking for people, it's like, it's cool because he's looking for you, getting you involved, and then he goes on a little mini spurt of his own where, all right,
makes him special.
Like, hey, here, let me hit the 3. Now I'm gonna show you get to the rim. Now I'm gonna show you pump fake. I'm at the free throw line. So it's just, I think when you have a guy like that is able to distribute the bigs, just like as a former big guy, I don't want to just be blocking shots and McNuggets is getting the ball.
You're still a big guy. You're not a former big
guy.
But
hey, listen, if I get to 220, it's over. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
I meant tall. I didn't mean wide. I meant tall.
But
You'll
like,
always be a big guy.
But if you running the floor, you saw Evan Mobley. Yeah. Like he got early in I think Harden had got a steal. Evan Mobley takes off. Takes off. So I think it's just that energy level is active when you got a dude that you know going to look for you.
Yeah, everything you said about Dean Wade applies to Jarrett Allen in a different sense. Like, Jarrett has to do it in the playoffs. I'm not going to sit here and rave about what he's doing in February because he hasn't done it when they've needed him the most. So he's in I think this is his 9th year, but he's only 27. So certainly guys can get better and guys can grow and guys can improve. But, Jarrett's got a role to fill when everybody's healthy. Mm-hmm. And it's not scoring 40 and it's not being the focal point of the offense. And if he can do that role in May and June, which he has not done previously, until he does that, everything you said about Dean Wade, to me, applies to Jarrett Allen. We have to see it when it matters.
So in that case, I think this is the biggest we got. So you got Donovan Mitchell. We've been waiting. When you going to get past the second round? We got to see it. James Harden. When you going to get it done? Got to see it.
It's a prove it year for a lot of people.
It's a prove it. I think this is the cool thing about this Cavs team, and I think the reason why I'm anxious to see what they're going to do down the stretch, even though they play bad teams, is because even though they got Darius Garland and DeAndre Hunter left, the people that's still there, everybody still got prove it.
Yeah.
Everybody got prove it. So And even Kenny, like you said, he was shell-shocked a little bit after last year.
Kenny ain't done it either.
Yeah, so, that's going to be the biggest question mark going down the backstretch.
Yeah,
I
they
got
also
two super chats real quick. Shout out to the real Night King. He says, J.A. realized that nobody is safe and he ain't trying to leave or be traded. He followed that up with, if we win this ship this year, would you say that this Cavs team is better than the 2016 team or equal to?
No. No.
team at Braun.
That 20, let's not be prisoner of the moment on what that 26 team had accomplished. To beat the 73-win Warriors, to come back from 3-1 down.
That team also, if the Warriors were not in the Western Conference, could easily have 2 or 3 titles. Should have 2 or 3 titles for what it's worth.
You know what's so crazy, McNuggets? I go back often because, I'm excited about the Cavs. I go back, and over the last couple of days, I went back just to check some of those teams. You went through 2018, and I went to the 2017 Cavs.
Loaded.
Loaded.
17 Cavs might have been better than the team that won championship.
I went back and watched the 17 Cavs and was like, I go back and watch the Christmas Day game when Kyrie hits that shot.
Hit the shot over Clay.
I'm watching that team and be like, these guys literally. I watched the Atlanta Hawks talk about it on a podcast. What's his name?
Jeff Teague.
Jeff Teague. He's like, bro, these dudes, the Cavs, you can't beat LeBron. They was hitting 20, 24, 25, 26 threes. You passed the ball to J.R. Smith, he wouldn't miss.
I mean, I've talked about it before. Mike Budenholzer was the coach of the Hawks. Would come in. It was, I think, the most despondent I've ever seen a coach in a playoff series. He would sit at the podium like, do you guys have any suggestions? Because I have no idea how to defend
Zero.
this team.
No,
He was so defeated. That team was unbelievable.
It should have more than one ring. They just happened to go against another all-time historic elite team.
And I mentioned this before, and I love Kyle Korver. Great guy. They brought Kyle Korver here to make one
and
shot.
And he missed it.
That corner three at home in the finals in 2017. They made the trade and brought him here for that shot.
And it just, but no, that I do like, I will say this though, Earl, the construction of the team is a lot like that team a little bit, but it's not LeBron who does it. James Harden is in the mold of a guy who does it like LeBron, where in terms of controlling the game. If you put the ball in his hands, he can pick and roll. He'll dribble the ball for 35 seconds if you want him to, and he's going to figure out which guy needs the ball, whether it's a pocket pass, whether it's a corner three, whether it's reverse. And then Donovan Mitchell was kind of in that same mode as Kyrie Irving, where it's like, all right, well, you can't guard me one-on-one. I'm going to get my money off. So you do have the 2 ball-dominant guys that go back up, but the way that LeBron and Kyrie was doing it was like at a crazy level, at a ridiculous level.
You had the best player in the game on that team, but also like that 16 team was better. But don't worry about that. Like, celebrate this team for what it is. Don't get into the comparison stuff of who was. It doesn't matter. You got a team now that's built to win a championship and can win a championship. So just enjoy that and don't worry about what happened 10 years ago.
I will say this: April
Real quick,
was great.
I got one last question for you all as we wrap this up. We got Mike Renner of CBS Sports waiting in the wing to talk to us next. But small sample size of this new look Cleveland Cavaliers. Just from what you're seeing, real quick, what would you say the biggest difference is between this current Cleveland Cavaliers team and the one that we had about a month ago?
Belief.
Aura and confidence, yeah.
Belief.
Yeah.
I mean, James is better than Darius Garland, but they needed to believe that they could do it.
And not only did they acquire James Harden, they reacquired All-Star Jarrett Allen.
Well, that's
really was a 2-for-1 deal in
that's
that
true.
sense.
Yeah, I would say confidence, and there's a more diverse skill set from your best 2 players.
Yeah. All right, Earl, you want to do a read? Let's bring in Mike Renner, talk some Browns and some mock draft scenarios.